Hey y'all, thanks for tuning into the Nintendo Drive. If you're hanging out with us on YouTube, be sure to like the video, subscribe to our channel, and ring the bell icon so you never miss an episode. Or, if you're getting cozy and listening to us on your podcast feed, make sure you're following and leaving us nice reviews. You can also support the show on Patreon and pick up some awesome merch. Links to those and more are in the description, but let's get the show started.
What's up, gamers? You're stuck with me tonight. Sean is out. He listened to Guile for Marvel vs. Capcom 2. He's out being a family man. Locklith is, of course, on a break. Amanda is sick, so you're stuck with me. But you're not just stuck with me, because our good friend Andross from the Nintendo Pals is here hanging out with me tonight, too. What's up, buddy? Good to see you.
Hey, it's good to be here. Back on the drive.
Back on the drive. Back on this drive, man. Lola Bunny in the chat.
Sean wouldn't let me have someone else's job on this show, so I took his.
That's good. That's
Take
good.
that, Sean.
He'll deal with it. He'll be all right.
Yeah.
Lola Bunny says, "Oh my God, Lockless voice in the beginning, hoping she's okay. She's doing fine. She'll be. Don't worry. She's doing fine. We wish her, we love her, and wish her all the best." Star Athena, hi, hello. Good to see everybody in the live chat. Thanks for hanging out with us tonight here on youtube.com/carpoolgaming. Yeah, dude, it's been a little while since you and I have casted pods together, and it's an exciting time to be Nintendo people. So to be Nintendo pals, as it were. So it's good to have
our
you on,
year, man. We're finally here for a console launch while podcasting.
That's
We've
true.
been here for previous ones.
That's true.
We were just born like 7 years ago.
We were babies.
We were just babies then.
I'm just a little 7 years old baby when it comes to Nintendo, covering Nintendo specifically anyway. So yeah, that'll be exciting. Yeah, it's a banner year, man. Good to see everybody. Well, Andross, if you will allow me, we need to let in the housekeeping lady who stands outside the door.
Housekeeping?
Yeah, ours kisses. She kisses outside the door. She says, "Housekeeping."
She does.
Yeah.
What kind of show are we running over here, Sean?
You're in for it tonight, dude. You're gonna learn some stuff tonight. We have developed an entire lexicon of weird stuff here on the Nintendo Drive. So, good luck to you, Andross. Try to maintain your sanity tonight on the show.
You got it. You got it.
Oh, goodness. Thank you so much to HabsFan for checking out the 7-day free trial over at patreon.com/carpoolgaming. We see you, HabsFan. We appreciate you for doing that. Bunch of exclusive content going up there all the time, just like the Pants Patreon podcast for Patrons podcast. Garrett just had an episode of that go up. That's our weekly AMA podcast, where every week you get to ask a Carpool Gaming host anything. And indeed, Garrett was on there. Mitch is up next. His episode will be coming up on Sunday. And we got that. Just last night, I recorded a new episode of Campfire, which is a monthly Patreon exclusive show. That'll be going up next week. So there's a lot of exclusive stuff going on over there. Check out that 7-day free trial, just like HabsFan did. We've also got merch at carpoolgaming.com, and you can gift merch to Twitch chat anytime that we're live here on Twitch. You can go to the website, select the merch you want to give away, and you can select the Twitch gifting option and gift it to Twitch chat. Very, very cool. We appreciate y'all for doing that. I also, quick shout out, speaking of everything else on our network, the PlayStation Drive, one of the hosts of the PlayStation Drive, Nagachaka, he has put together a special review of 1000 Times Resist. And that is going to be hitting the feeds. It's going to be on this feed and on Patreon very soon. In fact, I think I'm going to put that live next week. So be on the lookout for that. He's very passionate about the game. In fact, Andross, he's left you a question about 1000 Times Resist a little bit later. So I'm sure be excited to talk about that. But be on the lookout. He put a lot of work into it, and it's really good and very just kind of like cool of him to say like, hey, I really want to talk about this game. Here it is. Do what you want with it. And we're going to throw it up on the feed next week. So be on the lookout for that. And I think that's the housekeeping I've got, dude. Let me ask you this, Andross. What about some video games? What's been going on in the world of Andross? What have you been playing, streaming? What's been going on, dude? Talk to me.
Oh man. Well, I've been playing a lot of games. I've actually been gaming quite a bit.
Let's go. We've been gaming. It's been gamer hours.
That's been kind of divvied up among many systems. I'll segment these. So on Switch, I've recently been playing Super Mario Party Jamboree.
Nice.
I introduced my co-host Micah to the Koopathlon, and
I've not played that actually yet.
Oh, you haven't?
Touched it.
Oh,
no.
Man. We need to get a group together. Because you can get a lobby of like 8 people to play that together. So fun. I've played that a lot because it's something you can fire up and play like a quick round of.
Right.
And instead of sitting down, for the hour-long Mario Party of a standard game. And so, yeah, that's fun online. That's fun with friends. Me and him played against each other, and it automatically populates with computer players. And so, yeah, that's a lot of fun. I for those that haven't tried it, you basically are playing 3 mini games, and in all of the mini games, it's collecting coins. And so when you collect the coins, you go further on the track, and it's just a big circle, and you got to do like 5 laps around that. That's it. So you go through those 3 mini games, and then it gets the level of the mini game increases in difficulty, and you loop back. So pretty fun. You use items like Mario Kart to hit other people and ruin their mini game. Like they'll be blocked or they'll be shocked, or you'll get like an easier game. Yeah, it's fun. It's fun.
It sounds fun. Yeah, I need to try it. I feel like I've put a little bit of time into Mario Party Jamboree. I really like it. And it's the kind of game like for me, it's like the best of both worlds. Like to me, it's like the perfect marriage of like Super Mario Party and Superstars.
100% agree.
Bringing that all together, it's great. I just I need to spend more time with it because I feel like there's several modes that I haven't even like scratched the surface of. Koopathlon is one of them. I haven't really spent much time with that Bowser mode either. So yeah,
another one that would be fun to get a group together to play, right?
Yeah,
I'm like, I need 8 friends that all have this game and are all free at the same time. That's the kicker.
That's the trick. Yeah.
And I'll talk about it a little bit on another game I'm playing. But getting people together to play games is so hard.
It's tough. Everybody's busy. Everybody's got their.
Why is adulthood so hard, man?
I know, it sucks. Yeah, got to schedule it.
Besides that, I peeked at the show notes and said, I realize that why me and you are such good friends. How is back into Spelunky 2 this week?
Yeah, that's right.
We both I didn't talk to him previously.
No.
After taking a year off to spite my co-host because he said your predictions, and he was like, Andross will play Spelunky 2. And I said, no, I won't. And I did.
And then you didn't.
Now I'm jumping back into it, and I've done everything in that game. So it's just kind of like a comfort game at this point. Like, hey, I'm going to do a run. So I have literally done everything. And then I've done more on top of that you don't even have to do. Like, let's do this weird run where we just skip all of this stuff, or I play with limited items. And yeah, I'm a psycho, and Spelunky 2 is perfect for that.
Oh yeah, so you got back into it this week too. That's crazy.
Yeah,
that's so funny. Yeah, no, I mean, it's one of my kind of like evergreen games. Like I play Spelunky. The first Spelunky, my wife and I have like over 1,500 hours in on PlayStation alone. Like we played a lot of Spelunky. And then she started getting back into it, and it kind of encouraged me to get back into it. And yeah, like I really want to get to the point where, because I still haven't done like all of the like there's some truly crazy things in Spelunky 2. And I would love to one day go through the whole like Cosmic Ocean, like 99 levels.
You're okay. I haven't done that. I have not done that. That is so hard.
It's so hard.
Yeah. The Cosmic Ocean and getting all the way to the end where you have to like, it's so many levels. The time commitment to do that is probably the biggest.
It's
kicker
hours.
For me. Yeah.
It's hours. Yeah. Whereas like a normal run of Splunky 2, you could really, if you knew what you were doing and if you were having like a good run and stuff, I mean, you could get through it in, whatever, an hour or something like that, if not less. But like doing Cosmic Ocean and then like 99 levels of Cosmic Ocean, which is already just getting there is difficult. But then in like this like sequence of events that you need to do specific things to get there, multiple boss fights, and then you get to the thing and it's like randomly generated elements from other like areas of the game, enemies. It's like incredibly difficult, but I really want to do it.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I tried with Micah for a long time and we made it to the Cosmic Ocean, but we never got to 99. That's just they're also just difficult levels in their random generation and design. It's fun. It's fun. And it scales in difficulty. It can be an easy, pretty simple game. Not really. It's never really easy, but it gets much harder.
Oh, yes. Yeah. It's an amazing game. It's like one of my favorite games of all time. It's cool. It's nice to have a Spelunky fan, a man of taste here on the show.
Yeah, true. So. Yeah. We truly are men of culture here. Spelunky too. And then this last game, I think it's titled in a way that I think is very fitting for me. It's Hand of Fate 2, and it is the hand that was dealt to me by Nintendo. Did you do your Nintendo year review?
Yeah, I did.
At the end of that, it says, based off what you played, here's some games you might like. And guess what was on there? Hand of Fate 2. And I'd never heard of it before, and it was on sale for like $3. Something real cheap. And so I picked it up, and I liked it. They knew me. Nintendo knows. Nintendo knows what I like.
They are your friend, after all.
We'll see. We'll see how this new system is before
I've never heard
say
of
they're
it.
friends.
Yeah.
Oh, so Hand of Fate 2 is a.
Let's see if I can find a trailer here.
Did you ever play? Oh my goodness! It's the card game by Square Enix. Something.
Voice of Cards.
Voice of Cards.
Yeah.
Yes, it's very Voice of Cards vibe, in that you're playing a tabletop game, and then in that tabletop game, cards will be placed on the board, and there are different scenarios that you'll do things in. And you'll be put into fights. And at that point, it turns into a little mini boss arena game where you're actually a character. And I'd say it's like very simplistic Dark Souls-esque gameplay.
Okay.
And by that, I mean you roll around and you hit things with a sword. That's what I mean by Dark Souls.
Yeah. It's pretty smooth.
Yeah, and so it's jumping between that and basically a tabletop RPG game. And I like it. I haven't played like super far into it. I think I'm in the third world or level now. So
yeah, Hand of Fate 2. Yeah,
literally,
I've never heard of that.
Literally, fate handed this game to me.
It literally did. That's awesome. I love that. I don't even know. They might have recommended something to me and like I just kind of glossed over it. I love that you like took their recommendation to heart. That you're like,
I was like, maybe this should be a tradition now. Each year that they release this, I'll be like, I'll buy one of the games on the list and try it out. Just to try and one that I hadn't heard of. So thought that might be fun. So that's what I've been playing on Nintendo Switch. And then semi-Nintendo related, I got a VR headset for Christmas. My wife surprised me, pooled gift money from lots of family and relatives, and I got a Meta Quest 3.
Nice.
And on that, I picked up Tetris Effect Connected.
Oh, let's go.
Because I heard that the best experience of that game is in VR, and oh my gosh,
Yes.
it's so good. It's so fun. I really like it. I like Tetris.
I love
And that, you know, like those old school like iTunes visualizers where it's like like a ball of colors.
Totally.
It's like playing that. It's like being inside that. And I don't know what about that. It's very zen and very like it's a very much an experience that I recommend. And that is on Switch. I don't know what the experience would be like not in VR, but I imagine it would still be really fun.
Oh, it's great. Yeah, no, it's awesome. Like even removed from anything, like even if you just take it, it's just, I mean, it's Tetris, right? So it's already great. Tetris is basically a perfect video game on its own. But just all of the like music and the visuals and like everything coming together, like it's a beautiful, it's like that's another, like we're literally talking about some of my all-time favorite games. Like I love Tetris Effect.
It like tickles my brain in a way that no other game does. I don't know how else to describe that. But that does remind me of another game that I played, but I'll come back to that. I'm jumping too much around here. Also on my VR headset, I looked up and wanted to see if there was any sort of Zelda experience that I could have in VR. And fans have put into the game VR chat like full Ocarina of Time 3D. And it's very much a demo. It's very much a demo. Like when I say full, I don't think it has like the dungeons, but like I played Ocarina of Time. I went and got the sword and shield, wandered around Kokiri Forest, and then went out to Hyrule Field and was just walking around, and my mind was blown. You got a video of me.
Here he is.
Yeah. And my mind was blown. I was living my childhood dream of being inside Ocarina of Time. And like
this is crazy.
I'm like, this is so wild. I felt like I was being a bad streamer at this point because I was streaming this. And I'm like, I feel like I'm not talking enough because my brain is just so like,
you're in another place.
What is happening? I was just so excited.
That's crazy.
And this is free. This is just out in VR chat, which is just like a free to get game. Shout out to the creator of this. I need to look up his name again, but yeah, everybody should check this out if you have a VR headset.
I popped into this stream briefly, and you were playing. I think did you like start trying to do Wind Waker or something like that? Was that the deal?
Yeah, VR chat has these like rooms that are essentially like you just hang out in, and that was just a Wind Waker themed one.
Right.
I don't play VR chat because that just seems too scary to me. Social interaction online, not for me. But you can set up these as like private rooms that just you can be in, and so I'm just in here by myself. And it's crazy, and there's all these avatars that are already in there. So I'm playing as Breath of the Wild Link and running around Ocarina of Time. There's like a full Mario 64 one that I played off stream. Oh my gosh, it's so cool. I highly recommend if anybody has a VR headset and wants to play like a Nintendo thing on there.
Yeah.
Do it.
Oh man. I popped into the stream when you were still like in that little Wind Waker thing, and I was in chat like saying hi, and then literally seconds afterwards, Andross just goes, "I can't see chat, by the way." I was like, okay. So I popped in there.
I figured that out for next time. I have text to speech, so I'll be able to hear chat.
Nice. Well, that's good. Yeah. So I saw a little bit of it, but I didn't get to see the Ocarina of Time part. That's cool. That's awesome.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. And then my last game I'll mention that I'm playing for the first time ever. I am trying Elden Ring.
Oh, okay.
My friends convinced each other to buy it, and so I jumped in as well. And so we're playing Elden Ring Seamless Co-op. It's like a mod that you can get, so you can just play and we're having a lot of fun. I don't know if I would enjoy the game as much not in co-op. I
Just
think
on
that,
your own.
yeah, the seamless co-op is so fun. I just love being able to have this big adventure game with my friends.
That's cool.
I like those kinds of experiences. I wish that there was like a Zelda that you could play together.
Right.
I mean, we've had it before with Four Swords and Triforce Heroes, but like there's nothing like current for that.
Right. That seems almost like the next step, right? Like how do you make it like bigger and more impressive than what we had with Tears of the Kingdom? It's like, yeah, make it like a co-op thing where people could play together and do all of that crazy stuff together.
Even like Elden Ring, FromSoft is like, you know what, people want this. They're now making a standalone game that is going to be that. It's
co-op focus. What's it called? Like Night Rain or something like that?
Night Rain,
yeah.
Elden Ring, Night Rain.
Yeah, that's cool, man. I've played like 10 hours of Elden Ring, and I got it when it first came out, and I played a good bit of it, and something else like distracted me from it and took me away from it, and I just have never gone back. And now I'm like, I predict, and I feel pretty confident that that's going to come to Switch too.
Ooh.
And so I feel like, because that game runs on PS4, dude. Like I feel like it's a lock for Switch too. It's one of my predictions this year, and and at this point I'm like, I'm gonna wait. There's gonna be like an Elden Ring definitive edition that comes with Erd Tree and stuff, and I'll play it on Switch too. So
that's the thing to do, man. That's the way to do it.
Yeah, that's my plan. Nice. Well, you've been like playing video games.
I've been gaming. Well, I also am not here every week, so I've had.
That's fair. Yeah. That's awesome. Yeah, I haven't been playing much that I can talk about, and by the way, I hate being that guy. It's like I'm playing a lot of embargoed things.
I was playing a lot of embargoed games.
Look at me. Yeah, just playing a lot of stuff that I can't quite talk about. But that's like the main things I've been playing. I literally can't talk about. I think that I can talk about Citizen Sleeper next week. Citizen Sleeper 2, which I've been playing. I think I can talk about that next week. So. But that's like the main thing I've been playing. I did start, Ryan in the chat. Well, la-dee-da, Seth. That's exactly right.
Yeah.
I did start playing the new Backtrackers game. We have a monthly sort of video game book club in our community, if nobody is aware, called the Backtrackers. And every month a new game is chosen for the group to play. This month's game is Farewell North, which is a game that is on the Nintendo Switch.
Yeah, I've seen this one on sale a lot.
Yeah. So started playing this. I have not finished it yet. We meet up on Saturday, so I have to finish it like tomorrow. So I've heard that it's like not that long though. I've heard it's sort of like 5-6 hours. I'm about an hour and a half into it, so I should be able to fit it in. And yeah, it's cool. So the way the game looks, like you're seeing if you're watching the video version right now, it kind of has this like, I don't know, like muted color palette. The reason for that is you play as this like character's dog, and she is going through a loss. She like lost her mother. And so the way that she sees the world is kind of like dour and black and white. And as the dog, you have to help like bring color back into her world, sort of thing. And it's it's like a really sweet, good-hearted game so far. And it runs pretty well on Switch, like considering how big and open it is. It's like an open world kind of thing. You can get in this canoe and go to a bunch of different islands. It's like the Scottish Isles sort of thing. And yeah, it's cool. It's neat. I'm excited to talk to the Backtrackers about it. So yeah, Farewell North.
A hidden gem.
A hidden gem, you might say. It's a good segue. You know, it's just as well that it's you and I here on the show, Andross. I think that we would probably be the best like poised people to talk about that with the hidden gems and stuff. I feel like you and I play a lot of random stuff.
Yeah, that's true.
So it's
what a nice way to say that I waste my time.
I waste my time too. Let's not get it twisted. We do though. Before we even get into that, we do have a couple of questions that came in from the community specifically for Andross. So let's get into some of these Andross related questions, and then we'll talk some hidden gems and some of the other questions we got from the community. The first one
First
God.
off, I do want to say, wow, I'm so flattered that the
Please.
community knows me. I'm so famous among the Carpool crew.
There you go. Sean plays Mario. So there you
Plays
go.
Mario.
Sean, yeah, Sean's happy to report that he plays Mario. Andross, this first question for you comes to us from Awesome Dave. This question is for Andross. What is the best Final Fantasy game available on the Switch, and why is it Final Fantasy VIII?
Well, Dave, I'll tell you that the only Final Fantasy game that I have ever played is Kingdom Hearts.
Let's go. Okay.
And so my experience with Final Fantasy VII is just from, hey, that character looks like he's from Final Fantasy.
Fair enough.
That's my take. I've heard a lot of great things about 8. So
yeah.
That's
okay.
That's the yeah. I've also heard I think big fans of Final Fantasy VI, and everybody loves Sephiroth and Cloud. So
oh yeah, yeah.
But that's not on Switch, right? You can play the original.
Yeah, the original is. Yeah, the original FF7 is, not the remake or anything. Although that's probably coming to Switch too as well. We'll find out. But I think the original still, like, they've added some quality of life stuff. Like, you can speed up the battles and, you know, give yourself experience boosts and stuff that make the game a little bit more playable in the modern age. So it's not a bad way to experience the game. Yeah, I'm a big Final Fantasy VI fan. This, you should be aware though, this is kind of Dave's like thing. He's like a Final Fantasy VIII super fan, and so I'm not surprised that he asked this.
Yeah, I feel a bit embarrassed that I have never played any Final Fantasy games, but I also don't want to start now. So,
that's
sorry,
fair.
guys. I don't have that kind of time.
They're long. Yeah. So.
Yeah. That's like trying to become a Xenoblade fan in 2025. I'm like, I don't know if I have time for that.
Yeah, you've never really gotten into the Xenoblade.
I've never. Am I not an RPG guy? Is kind of what I'm thinking, or like a JRPG guy specifically.
Right.
And it's not. And it's not because like I don't want to. It's just I never played those.
Mm-hmm.
And now I look at it and it's like recommending someone read The Wheel of Time. It's like, you should read The Wheel of Time. It's great. But you look at the book and you're like, nah, I don't know about that.
1,000-page brick.
Yeah. That's how I feel about it now. And my community is very, and the Nintendo Pals community has been very upset at Micah and I for years. It's part of the subreddit We Hate Nintendo Pals. They're constantly talking about how we don't like Final Fantasy, Xenoblade Chronicles.
Oh man,
what's the other one that we don't play? Fire Emblem. Yeah. They don't like that we don't do that.
Oh, the RPG dorks are really coming for y'all over there.
The RPG dorks.
They're really.
He said it, not me. I don't think you guys are dorks. That's going on the We Hate Seth subreddit.
There probably is a subreddit for that at this point. I say it with all the love in the world, but like, you guys are dorks. Let's be real. Like, let's just be honest with it. Okay, it's fine, but you know, it's it's intimidating, I think, for a newcomer to be like, yeah, like, where should I start with Final Fantasy? Should it be? I was waiting for Ryan to say something. Host of the RPG Cave, Ryan Turford. I'm right here, Seth.
Right here.
It's like, which, 50 to 100 hour RPG would you like to start with? Please enjoy it. So
my favorite JRPG is Paper Mario. I think that's a great.
I mean, dude, it counts. As far as I'm concerned, it counts. There's nothing wrong with that. Oh goodness. Okay, well, this one comes to us from Solo. Questions for Andross. What were your first words when you saw the reveal teaser of Switch 2 at work, and did it include "about time, geez"? And then Solo also asked, what did Muggle Moo think, and is she getting one too?
There was no "about time, geez," because I wasn't on the train of like, they need to show it right now.
Right, I'm with you.
But when we did see it, it was like, oh, I guess every single leak was true.
Yes.
It's just, there it is. We saw it already.
Right.
Yeah, when I saw this at work, so I have been like watching for this like a hawk, and rumors were saying all week up to it, this Thursday it's gonna come.
Yeah.
And I woke up Thursday and forgot it was Thursday. Just completely forgot. And didn't look at Discord, didn't check anything, went to work, and my coworker goes, "You excited about the news?" And my jaw dropped. I was like, "No, wait, what? No, no." And I'm like, "I'm already here." And we had a crock pot cook-off at work that day. I was signed up for. I couldn't just leave. I had a whole food dish there. So I was like, I'm just going. I told everybody at work, I said, nobody tell me anything. I am saving my reaction. I am going to watch this on stream when I get home.
Yeah.
And so that's where I was at. I was just like, I kicked myself so hard after. I'm like, I can't believe that I was so, how could I be so careless? How could I forget? Today's the day. How could I forget? But yeah, that was my response. And to the second part of that question, are we buying? Am I buying one? I'm currently trying to convince Muggle my wife, Muggles Moo. I'm currently trying to convince her to buy 3 on launch.
3?
One for me.
Yeah.
One for me. One for her, and one for the kids.
Oh yeah, get them their own one. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I think we're gonna need it if we're gonna all want to be playing these Switch 2 games. We're gonna need it. But she's like, we are for sure getting 2. We're for sure getting 2.
Minimum 2.
Which is wild. What happened? I'm not made of money. I can't do that. And now I'm trying to convince her to get 3. It's like, why did I've made a mistake in raising my kids to play video games, because now I have to provide financially for my own hobby and theirs.
Yep. You got to go into Best Buy and pay the light bill that month, essentially.
Yeah, it's like, I say, seriously. I'm like, it's going to be like over $1,000. And then if it's like,
let alone the games. Imagine it launches with Mario Kart and it's like, cool, there's also 3 copies of Mario Kart. Boom, boom, boom.
Please tell me they'll have family sharing and we can do that. Like, that would be so nice.
Yeah, that'd be good.
I doubt it. They won't. That's always been a nightmare. Yeah.
Yeah. R.I.P. No, that definitely isn't happening. But I'll pray for you. It's it's nice to hear like that excitement. I'm really excited for it. The reveal trailer didn't do much for me as a reveal trailer. I'm just looking forward to April. Like, that's what I'm like. That's when all we're going to hear about the games, the release date, the price, and all that. Like, that's what I'm really jonesing for. Bring on this like big presentation in April. I can't wait. And yeah, like you kind of alluded to it at the beginning of the show, it's exciting to be on the ground floor of covering like a new hardware launch and, getting to just celebrate it with other Nintendo fans and like talk about this stuff. And I can't wait to play like the new Mario Kart, like is going to be such a staple for all of our communities and like playing the game together. I can't wait for that. That's going to be
This
great.
is like, and it's like the build up to that time period is just, we're going to be talking about it. We're going to be getting games to play. It's so fun. And I saw so many of my creator buddies do this when the Switch launched, right?
Right.
Like, people like Sean, who've been podcasting for like 30 years, have been for like multiple console launches.
10.
Yeah.
Yeah.
but here for like multiple console launches, and that always seems like the funnest time to be a content creator in this space that we are in. And I am so excited to be here for that. Now's our year, Nintendo year. And we and we talked about it before the show. Nintendo World is opening up in my neck of the woods this year as well. So not only games, but I get a theme park. I'm eating good. We're eating good as Nintendo
You're
fans.
On Cloud 9.
So even though that trailer was kind of a nothing burger as far as like what we got,
right? Yeah.
Besides that new Donkey Kong design, that's not nothing. That's,
I love that new Donkey Kong design, dude.
Did you see my wild theory?
No.
Okay, my wild theory here is that that's not Donkey Kong. That's not Donkey Kong.
DK Jr.?
That's Donkey Kong Jr. And the reason I think that is because we're going to get the Everyone is Here. Every Mario Kart playable character that has ever been in Mario Kart is coming back. And Donkey Kong Jr. was the original Donkey Kong playable character.
That's right. Yeah.
And so a redesign of him in 3D.
I mean, like that redesign definitely is inspired by that DK Jr. like Super Mario Kart design. Like it definitely is. And I mean like his look in the movie also kind of harkens back to that. But like that would be awesome. I'd be all about that. And didn't they do in Mario Kart Tour, didn't they do like the I think you could get DK Jr. like the Super Mario Kart version of him. Yeah.
Yeah.
That'd be neat. Yeah,
He's coming back. He's been dead for
okay,
20
dead,
years.
sure. I was gonna go with asleep, but dead, sure.
My death was greatly exaggerated. He comes back.
Oh yeah, Kamek is a necromancer after all, and he resurrected DK Jr.
Dry bone DK, dry Donkey Kong.
Yeah, dry Donkey Kong Jr. is a thing. You heard it here first. That'd be amazing. That would be awesome.
But that would be so cool for a Mario Kart roster that's just bringing back all the old characters.
That'd be neat.
You got Funky Kong. You got
Rob,
the Queen Bee from Mario
7.
Galaxy.
Yeah. Like, yeah, that was cool. I've always been, and I know that this is an unpopular opinion. I've said it on the show before. I feel like the Mario universe is so rich that like I know everybody wants, Mario Kart to essentially be like Smash Kart or whatever.
Nintendo Kart. Yeah, Nintendo.
Yeah,
Kart.
and that's fine. And like if that's the way we go with it, I'm fine with that. But for me, I'm like, there's so many good and interesting Mario characters that you could just stay and keep it Mario Kart, and it would still be really cool and interesting. And characters like that, like I love the fact that they put the Queen Bee from Mario Galaxy in the game. I love that junk, man. Keep that coming.
Lakitu was playable at one point.
Love it. He's an 8, I think. Lakitu.
Is he an 8?
I think so.
Oh, okay.
I might be wrong about that.
Also, the roster for 8 is so big. I don't remember who's even in.
It's crazy. Yeah. It's crazy.
But
and it's tough.
I do have to ask you, though, if you had to pick one more character to add in that was not Mario, who's the character to put in?
Like from the extended, like Smash.
From Nintendo.
Like that kind of Nintendo thing.
Because I think there's one right answer. Like, why isn't this character in here yet? And I want to know if you agree.
I think I know. You're probably thinking Kirby, right?
Heck yeah, I'm thinking Kirby.
Okay. Yeah, I'm with you. I think Kirby would make a lot of sense.
He fits the vibe.
He does fit. He fits the. And you could also imagine Kirby on the Star, Kirby Air Ride style.
Yeah,
like you could imagine that. Yeah, my answer. I mean, it's me. I would have to go King Dedede, but still, we're in the same ballpark. Yeah, I would love that.
That's
cool.
Good. Yeah. Well, bring them both.
Yeah, I mean,
shoot, why not?
Here's the deal. If you're gonna do it, we have to you should just rip the Band-Aid and just put all kinds of other Nintendo characters in there. Like if you're gonna do it, like if you're gonna go for this, just go for it, man.
Well, and they're supposed to. We know there's gonna be like 24 characters.
We already seen a lot of them.
You need a big roster,
right,
for that to have variety. So I totally get that being a thing for this next one.
Well, and it makes sense for Mario Kart to kind of. I feel like Nintendo is missing that like consistent like get hype thing like Smash was for so many years. Like anytime there was a direct, everybody was like, I wonder if there's going to be like a Smash character here or whatever. And they haven't had that since Sora in Smash Ultimate. And it would make sense for Mario Kart to just slot right into that and be the new thing where you can get hype for a new character reveal or whatever. It would make sense. Yeah, Sean says Angry Sun from Mario 3. Bring the Angry Sun in.
Oh yeah, let's make him play. Yeah, that's awesome.
I'd love that. I would love that. Put Fanto in the game. I would love that. Yes, please. Can't wait. That's like the stuff I'm excited for the games at the end of the day, man. Looking forward to the games. Okay, cool. Well, we got a question here. This is another one specifically for Andross from Nagachaka. Question is specifically for Andross. This is another one where like the question asker is kind of pushing their hidden agenda on you, but what's the best hidden gem on the Nintendo Switch and why is it 1000 times resist? Are you familiar with 1000 times resist?
Yeah, from the tertiary Google search that I did right before we got to this question.
Yeah. Yeah.
Am I reading the room right and saying that this is very similar to Shin Megami Tensei. That's kind of the look that it has.
It does have a little bit of that
Tensei
look.
5 look.
It does have that.
That's
look.
all
No,
That's
well. Here's what I'll say.
Probably not.
Here's what I'll say. Thousand Times Resist was my game of the year last year, and it was also Nagachaka's game of the year last year. But it's not. It's more of like a walking sim if you had to put a genre on it, I guess. But the thing about this game is like the story is so good, and the way that the story is told, it's a science fiction story. It's one of the best science fiction narratives like I've ever seen in video games, movies, books, whatever. It's that strong. I will say like there's a lot of there are moments of the game anyway that are quite violent and tough, but it has a lot to say, a lot of themes, a very like important game. That has a lot to say about like, familial drama, diaspora, the relationships between parents and their children, the things that we leave behind, the way that our history is written and rewritten. It's a very like dense game, but it's beautiful. I absolutely loved it, and I know that he loves it too. I don't know if I'd call it a hidden gem at this point, as much as I love it. For me, a hidden gem is something that like, when I say it,
I certainly didn't know about it.
I mean, I guess maybe that just defeats. I mean, maybe it is more of a hidden gem than I give it credit for, but I love that game. I love it. So
I interrupt what you were saying. What is a hidden gem to you, Seth?
It's to me like, I don't know. I guess the definition of that changes for any person. Like for me, I play a lot of indie games, almost exclusively indie games at this point. That's kind of my bread and butter, has become indie games. So my like standard of what I consider a hidden gem, I guess, is maybe a little more nebulous than the average person. Cause to me, like Celeste, Super Meat Boy, like these are not hidden gems. These are like known quantity. Even Spelunky, I wouldn't call a hidden gem personally. Like I want to say a title of a game, and I want the majority of people to not know what I'm talking about. Like something that is like truly flown under the radar. So I don't know. What do you think? How do you kind of define hidden gem?
I think I kind of fall into the same line of thinking. I think a hidden gem is a game that that is not widely known.
Right.
One that maybe only a small percentage of people have played, or it's, in the case of this question, like a hidden gem on Nintendo Switch, maybe it's just not well known on Switch. And I find that a lot with games. It's like Hand of Fate 2, if you looked at the Steam listing for that, very, very popular and very widely, like very positively reviewed on Steam, but I'd never heard of it. And it was a hidden gem on Switch in particular. So I think it can vary per platform. I have for this question compiled a list.
Okay, well let's get into it here.
Of hidden gems.
I love that. Well, the first so Nagachaka asked that, and it also led us into HVAC Sparky's question, which just was, do you have any hidden gem Switch game recommendations? I'm shuffling things around on my gaming logs, and a hidden gem would be great to move to the front log right about now. Andross, you need to be told what the front log is. We here at Carpool Gaming have devised the antithesis of a backlog. So you have your backlog of games that like you've shelved and you need to get back to, but the front log is the stuff that has been moved to your priority list, like what I'm about to be playing. That's on my front log. So.
Yeah, in the software world, we just call that on deck. Because we literally have a backlog of like work items, and then they move on the they move to on deck.
Yep.
That term already existed. I just want to, but no. Front log is very funny. I like that.
That's great. That's the front log, and
it's good.
It's just as immature.
I'm going to bring this up. I propose we change the name of the ready and on deck column to front log.
That'd be amazing.
Move to the front log.
Let me know how that goes. Yeah. Well, so first of all, before we even get into our list, because I have a list of games here too. I want to say HVAC Sparky, who is watching live. Shouts to HVAC Sparky in the chat. I see you, buddy.
Hi, Sparky.
I want to say follow the backtrackers. Like this is kind of the backtrackers' entire deal in the community. Like Like I said, every month they play new games together. They play the same game, link up and chat about it. And the nice thing about the Backtrackers is they prioritize hidden gems. So they specifically kind of try to play games that like didn't quite get the limelight that they deserve. So I would definitely keep an eye on that there in the Carpool gaming community, because they're playing hidden gems all the time over there. So check that out, Sparky. But yeah, let's get into some of these hidden gems, man. Start us off. What do you got?
So I separated these into categories because I think that depending on what you're feeling like, I have 3 games under this category of party games.
Okay.
And these are games that are like multiplayer. They're games for a party,
right?
And I put down here Boomerang Fu.
Great call. Great game.
I don't know if this is. I feel like this kind of teeters on the line of hidden gem. I feel like a lot of people have heard of Boomerang Fu, but maybe not.
More people should.
And it is just a party game. There's no single player experience in this game, so you need to have people to play this with. But that's a really fun one. It's a arena fighting game where you play as cute little fruits that throw boomerangs at each other, and there's power ups and duking it out. Yeah, it's so fun. I love the art design for this game, and the music's really good, and the gameplay is super simple but very, very fun.
Right.
Easy to learn and play, hard to master, I guess.
Oh yeah. And it's great for families, like great for kids. Like kids can pick it up and get right into it. Yeah.
My son and I spent a lot of time playing this together, and we play on teams, and me and him would be on a team against CPUs, and we'd increase the difficulty of the CPU so that we could get better at the game. A lot of fun.
Love that.
A lot of good.
It's a great game.
The next one that I have in this category is Duck Game.
Duck Game.
Yeah, the Duck Game, which has like the craziest cover art of all time. It looks like they drew the ducks like the Ninja Turtles, level low. But it's a brawling game, like a fighting game that you play as ducks and you get guns and shoot at each other.
Is this like Smash adjacent? It's like a platform fighter?
Yep, it's a platform fighter, but with a lot more guns than Smash Bros has. And so
this is a Sean game right here. Sean would like this.
It's so fun. I've had a great time with this game, and the level design on it's all very silly. There is a dedicated quack button.
Let's go. Love it.
Which you definitely want to have, and lots of decorations and character customizations. Very fun. We've played a lot of this one. Nice. And then my last one in this category, and it's very similar vibes to this, is Stick Fight the Game. And it's a platform fighter with guns and swords. And I just want Smash Bros with guns is what it sounds like. But I think that all of these are very fun party games, games that you can break out to play with a group, and it's going to be fun for
good old stick fight.
Yeah, fun for everybody. And all of these are like really cheap on the eShop too.
Oh yeah. Yeah, this is some good calls here for the multiplayer kind of side of things. Stick Fight is a classic, man. Like this, I feel like Stick Fight had such a moment. Like so many YouTubers and streamers were playing this at one time.
Yeah.
And super fun, super silly, over the top. Yeah.
I'm a sucker for those ragdoll physics in anything.
Yes.
And this has like 2D stick figure ragdoll physics.
Oh, that's great.
I see you have a pretty good list here, so maybe I can pause from my list.
Sure.
Tell me about some of your hidden gems.
So the first game that I had, I'm gonna try to pull up a trailer here as I'm talking. The first game that I wanted to shout out is a game called Glyph, which is a game that I feel like not a lot of people talk about anymore. I love this game. If you're a fan of stuff like Monkey Ball or like Marble Blast or anything like that, like these kind of like ball rolling games. It's really good. It's like a 3D platformer, but you play as this little like robotic scarab, and you have kind of like a roll, like a ball form where you can roll around, you can jump, you can kind of like spread your wings out and glide to different platforms. It's super fun. It runs great on Switch, and like the level design is like right up there with like the best of the games in this genre. And you can get like different little skins for the scarab, as you can see here, if you're watching the video version. And it's just a lot of fun. This is another one that goes on sale all the time. You can get this like all the time for like a few dollars, and I love it. Like this is a pretty early Switch game, but it's still one of my favorite indie games on the Switch. So
my co-host Micah loves this game.
It rules.
And we had a moment where this was what he played for quite a while. Yeah, very, very fun.
Yeah,
but,
man.
Yeah, and he also is a big fan of Monkey Ball. So if you're a fan of Monkey Ball, seems like there's some correlation here.
I love Monkey Ball is one of my favorite like gaming franchises.
I did like the category you gave of ball rolling games. Yeah, that should be a genre.
Yeah, like, I don't really know
what do you go?
Souls
like? It's a ball like game is what
right.
It is.
Yeah, a monkey ball like, I guess. I don't know, but I love anything that emulates that even a little bit. I'm like right on board. It's one of my favorite little mini genres. I think that this next game, I think I've actually talked about this game on the show before. This game's called Cavern of Dreams, and it's a 3D platformer very inspired by N64 games, like very Banjo-Kazooie inspired.
This looks Ocarina of Time.
Totally.
This looks like Majora's Mask right here.
Right. Yeah, you play as this cute little dragon guy, and you're trying to like collect eggs, like all of your brothers and sisters. You're trying to like save them and find them, and it's great. Like it's genuine. Like the controls of it are really good, and like the way this little dragon, like the tools that you end up getting to get around, and I had a blast with this. This is like a solo dev game as well, and I loved it. Yeah, it's really good. So if you're looking for something like that, if you're looking for like a throwback N64 kind of style platformer, Cavern of Dreams is great. I think it's also like $7.99 or something like that. Like it's not very expensive. So yeah, highly recommend.
That looks really good. That one looks like a lot of fun.
Yeah. Okay, I'll shout out I guess one more and then pitch it back to something from you. This one, I sadly this studio ended up closing because the game didn't do very well, which I guess is the definition of a hidden gem. This game, Beastbreaker, which I absolutely love. I'm pulling up the trailer now. It is kind of like Peggle as an RPG, if that makes sense. Like,
okay.
It kind of has like you play as these animal characters, this kind of Redwall-esque, fantasy game with animal characters, but you take on these massive beasts made of like crystals, and you kind of like send your character like pinballing around the arena to take them out, and you get new gear that makes things easier. You get new party members, and it just feels so good to play. And it's the kind of game that like nobody knew
really
about
good.
It rules. It's so fun, and like nobody knows about it, and it's like it taps into that like same dopamine that Peggle does, just like hitting those little pegs and taking down the giant monsters. It's great. It's called Beastbreaker, and I think a lot of people would like it if they gave it a chance. So
that looks really good. That one's going on my wish list for sure, because I'm a Peggle man. I do love some Pachinko. Is that what it is?
Pachinko, yeah.
I do love that. There's something good.
It has that vibe, and like it has a genuinely good story to it as well, like good characters and a good story. And
yeah, and the artwork on that looked incredible. It looked good.
It's great. More people should play it. So
I have my next category of games here before the rest are just kind of miscellaneous.
Okay.
But this is games specifically for their multiplayer co-op.
Okay.
And both of these games, I think, are stretching as far as what a hidden gem is. Okay. Because one of these is consistently in the top like best-selling games on Switch.
Okay.
And that's Human Fall Flat.
Oh, okay. Yep.
Now Human Fall Flat, I feel like not enough people have actually played it, but you've probably seen it. And it's a very ragdoll. It's a game, a puzzle game that your character is difficult to control, and it's very fun to play in multiplayer. And as the trailer here is showing, that online multiplayer works really well. It's a game that is kind of open, sandboxy, and you run around, jump on things, climbing things, moving things around. It feels like I want more of it every time I play. I'm like, I would really love this to just be like a character, or not a character creator, but like a level creator game. And I think they definitely have tools for that, because they have like a whole separate level list of like games from the worlds from the community. But
okay, yeah,
but they like curate that and put that onto there. And I feel like they're constantly adding new levels to it. So every year or so, I come back to this game and go, oh, there's a new level been added, and I can go back and play it. And so my co-host and I have played all through this game, and we fire it back up. One of the most dramatic moments in all of gaming for us happened in this game. This is a game where you have to climb, and it is very hard to control your limbs. So think like Octodad or or Human Fall Flat. That's why compare. But I grabbed onto something, started to fall, and I was like, I can't get out. I'm gonna fall. And he reached over the edge of the thing to grab me, and right then the game decided to blast the soundtrack, and it was the most dramatic, intense piano music. And he's like, I got you. And
amazing.
That moment will be solidly etched in both of our memories for forever. And that just, if you have a moment like that in a game, you have to talk about it. I think you have to talk about that game.
Oh, I love that. Yeah, I've not spent a lot of time with my nephews. Love this game. Like they're playing this or Fortnite. That's like all they play.
Really?
Yeah, they love Human Fall Flat. They're always talking about it. They had you know what it was? They were really into Gang Beasts for a while.
Gang Beasts has like this. They look like the same game, right? If you're looking at it from the outside.
Right, and so they kind of like graduated from Gang Beasts to Human Fall Flat. Like that's kind of what the trajectory was for them.
That's a good trajectory, I'd say.
Nice.
Someone's raising those kids right. So Human Fall Flat, great one. And then the other one on here is probably also a bit of a stretch, but I think this is a hidden gem specifically on the Nintendo Switch. And that is Divinity Original Sin 2.
Oh, good call.
A port of this game exists on the Nintendo Switch. This is how I experienced this game and how I fell in love with Larian Studios, to the point that I blindly bought Baldur's Gate 3 because they were the team developing it. I have no Baldur's Gate experience, no D&D experience, and I said I will buy this game because this game is that good. And this Divinity Original Sin 2, I'd argue, has a better combat system, more unique and fun. Well, Baldur's Gate 3, I love that game. I love that game, and I love the combat system. But this game, I think, because it's a video game and tailored to be a video game, Baldur's Gate is operating in the restriction of being D&D 5th edition. Like,
it just the combat literally is D&D 5e.
Yeah, and so it's not. It's built as a tabletop game, and it translates well to video games. But this fight system, it's an action point based system, and you can combine different like spells and their different they're not really classes, but you kind of build up within like different magic systems or physical fighting. Lots of variety, a ton of fun. I restarted this game like 7 times because I'd get to this point and I'd be like, oh man, I want to do a different build. And in order to do that, we'd let's just start over. And we're like, okay, we start over. And so it's really, really fun. The story in it is really good. And if you like Baldur's Gate 3, you will like Divinity Original Sin 2.
Totally. Yeah, the bones of Baldur's Gate 3 are definitely there. Like, it definitely is in a similar ballpark. Does it run well on Switch?
I think so, yeah.
Nice.
Okay. I don't know, it's certainly like the lowest graphical quality settings I think that you would get out of playing it on like PC. But I mean, it looks great on Switch. I feel like they translated it well to a controller, and playing and not relying on a mouse and keyboard.
Right.
So this is one of my like top like 5 games on Switch, period. I really, really like this game. And so, but it also feels like it's a hidden gem for the Switch in particular. And makes me hopeful. Makes me hopeful because Larian loves the Switch that they will put Baldur's Gate 3 on Switch too. That would be.
I think so.
That would be real nice. That'd be real cool.
That was another one of my predictions. Out of the third-party games that I think we'll see in the first year of Switch 2, I think Baldur's Gate 3 is one of them.
Oh, that would be so awesome.
Yeah, I think
and
so.
If you have it on Switch and on PC, you have cross progression save.
That's
Divinity.
Awesome.
So
that
big
rules. Win. Yeah, shout outs to Larian, man. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Nice.
So then I have 2 remaining games that are kind of in miscellaneous, and that is the Mom Hid My Game series.
Oh yes, good shout.
I got this game for free as a Prime Gaming member. Mom Hid My Game, and they gave Switch codes for it for Prime Gaming. So picked that up, and I mean I beat it in one sitting.
They're kind of short. Yeah,
but it is so funny. It is so fun. They're like little puzzle games. It feels very like WarioWare.
Very WarioWare. Yep.
Very humorous. Very, very Japan. Goofy game. And I loved it so much that I just bought the sequel. And I bought. There's another game in the series that isn't in the same vein. It's like a rhythm.
They have
game.
like 4 or 5 of them. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, and so they're solving puzzles to get your Game Boy without your mom noticing.
Yeah,
and that's the game. They're very, very silly.
They get progressively more ridiculous. You know, we're cracking a watermelon with our finger right now.
Yeah,
you know.
Yeah. It's a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun. And then last, I believe this is a true hidden gem. And this is one that we got codes for, and this is the only reason I discovered it. And that is Terrorbane. The game is called Terrorbane. And that's T, and then error is capitalized. The whole premise of Terrorbane is that it's kind of fourth wall breaky, in that the developer is having you play test their game, which is called Terrorbane, and you are trying to find bugs, and he is convincing you throughout that, like, oh, this isn't a bug, this is a feature, and it's very silly, and you're also just trying to play through the game.
This looks great.
It is so funny and so fun. So many. This is made by someone who absolutely loves RPGs and gaming as a whole. So many references to different to other games, and it goes from being like action and run around looking at stuff to turn-based fighting that you solve with things that aren't even game mechanics. Yeah, it's very silly, very fun. If you like There Is No Game, this is so There Is No Game coded.
I was thinking of that. Yeah, it totally reminds me of that.
Yeah, great game, and I think this is probably my truest hidden gem on this list, in that not nearly enough people know about that game, and everybody should play that.
I've heard of it, but I've never played it or like seen anything. I've just heard the name, and yeah, that looks great. That looks like right up my alley. I would definitely be into that. I'll have to wishlist that after we get off of here. Let's go. Good shout out.
That's my list. That's my list for you, Sparky. I hope HVAC Sparky. I hope that something in there spoke to you, and if not, I've failed as a as a weird game player.
No, I think it's a great list. I have a couple more that I'll shout out here, and this is, by the way, the kind of topic I could go on all night about.
Yeah, I mean, I have more games.
Right, like games. We truly could go on all night. I wanted to make sure to shout out a couple of these. This is If Found, which is a game that was published by Annapurna, but I feel like is maybe, out of the games that Annapurna has published, I think this is maybe the most criminally underrated. The whole mechanic of it, it's like kind of a visual novel experience, but the mechanic of it is that you like erase the screen to move on to the next screen. And just the story that they've told here.
There's a good chance you will cry. What a quote. Yes.
You will cry. Yeah, you will cry. Like the story's amazing, the characters are amazing, and in terms of like how much they get out of something so simple, like it's really spectacular. I love this game. It feels like a good book, like cozying up with a good book. You'll play it in an hour and a half, 2 hours. It's perfect for like a plane ride or something if you are comfortable with crying on the plane. It's great. I love it. So I want more people to be aware of If Found, for sure. Let's see. There's a whole like kind of developer that I would love more people to play their games. My favorite independent developer is Analgesic Productions. They make games like the Anodyne series. They came out with a game called Sephony last year. I think that came out on Switch, or no, the year before. But the game that I'll specifically shout out, because I think it's their most accessible game that the most people would like, is their game Even the Ocean, which is a 2D platformer. But the sort of gimmick of it, it's like a pixel art 2D platformer, you know, kind of like a Celeste or something like this. But the main mechanic is like a polarity mechanic. So the world is governed by a polarity of like purple and green. One of them gives you more horizontal movement and one of them gives you more vertical movement. So you can like run faster or jump higher. So you're constantly, your main character has like a shield. You're constantly, there's no like traditional health bar. You're balancing those things and solving puzzles and getting through the platforming stages while balancing those two things. Very unique. I've never played a platformer just like it. The story is amazing. The music is amazing. And out of all of their games, I think this is like the one that would probably hit the hardest for the most people. Because a lot of their other games are pretty weird. But this one, I think people would dig if they gave it a shot. So, Even the Ocean is what that one's called.
It's great.
Yeah, let's see. Let me shout out maybe one or two more here before I wrap up my list. I Can't See mentions Anodyne. Like, Anodyne 2 is like one of my favorite games of all time. I love that game. I'm going to shout out a game called Luca Born of a Dream, which is kind of like an isometric, I guess you would compare it maybe to like a Hades or something, but the art style is like kind of this hand-drawn, like, I don't know how to really describe it. It's like almost, it looks like a moving sketch or something. Let me pull this up here so people can see it watching the video. It's got that kind of like top-down, like kind of, I don't know, Hyperlight Drifter-esque, like kind of hack and slash gameplay. Pretty challenging, taking on enemies, but like the art style of it is so unique. I've never seen anything that looks like it. Has a great story, great music, And I really dug it. Like I really vibed with it. I liked the boss fights. I liked all the encounters and the kind of just like weird like child scribbles like kind of art style that it has. I've never played anything like it. It's neat. So yeah, Luca.
This looks so trippy. Wow.
Yeah, it's definitely like epilepsy, warning, like if you play it, but it's neat. And again, a nice sense of challenge. Like if you like games with good combat, I definitely recommend it. Luca, Born of a Dream. This one goes on sale all the time too. There's also a sequel to it called like Death of a Wish that I have not played yet that came out last year, and it also looks great. So yeah, I guess that's probably where like I said, this is the kind of topic I could rattle off 20 more games, but I guess for now, at least, I'll end my list there. So I guess just kind of to go back over it for HVAC Sparky here. My games were Glyph, Cavern of Dreams, If Found, Even the Ocean, Beastbreaker, and Luca, Born of a Dream. If you do you have your list still in front of you?
I do. Yeah.
Okay.
My games were Boomerang Fu, Duck Game, Stick Fight the Game, Divinity Original Sin 2, Human Fall Flat, Mom Hid My Game, and Terror Bane. And I failed to mention one more that I think that this is very specific for y'all with kids.
Okay.
Piku Niku is a game.
Yes.
I really like Piku Niku as well. It's a very simple platformer. It is it's very silly. Love the art style. The music is incredible.
It is.
This is like one of the best soundtracks in any game, and you've probably heard the soundtrack. I know a lot of streamers and YouTubers use songs from it. And yeah, it's just a very silly game, whimsical. I don't know, this this is just fits a vibe that I vibe with. You know me. I'm a fan of the game Plock from the Super Nintendo, and it's this like kind of cartoony, child whimsical. This is much easier than Plock. This is one of
than Plock.
This is one of my kids' first games that all of them have played and beaten. So for all three of my children, they each discovered this game and then would want to play it until they beat it. So
great shout. Yeah,
I think it's a good kids game, but I also really enjoyed it.
Right. Yeah. You can do co-op in that, can't you, or no?
Yes, there's like so that's like the single player experience, but then there's like a 2-player mode where you
That's what I thought.
Where you play, and it's very similar to oh man, what are some like good like 2-player co-op-y type platformy games? I like Ib and Ob is one that came to my mind right away. It's got that kind of vibe to it. So, yeah, very fun series.
Nice.
Very fun game.
Good shout outs here. I can't see in the chat says, got to check out Beastbreaker. I love Peggle likes. I'll also recommend Round Guard and Peglin. Also, both very good shout outs in that kind of genre. There should be more Peggle likes, more games that kind of have that vibe.
Why isn't Peggle on Switch?
I know.
I wish that would get put over.
Like, why not? Game. Yeah, Peggle was such a like big deal for a long time, and you would think that would be perfect for Switch. Yeah. Shoutouts to Peggle. Okay. Well, hopefully thanks. Yeah, Sparky talking about Beastbreaker too. Y'all play Beastbreaker. It rules. Okay, well, those are some of our hidden gem recommendations. This is, again, sort of an evergreen topic. I could see us coming back to this, multiple times, and I would love to hear what the rest of the crew thinks about these two. But we have a couple more questions before we wrap up tonight.
Okay.
So a couple quick ones here from Quaggy. What are your preparations for Xenoblade Chronicles X Definitive Edition? That question again. What are your preparations for Xenoblade Chronicles X Definitive Edition? Also, this is the Quaggy, king of the Xenobabes.
I just think it's funny how many questions I'm getting asked about series. I've outright said I don't want to play that.
Probably intentionally.
You guys are funny.
I mean, I think that the for me, like preparations wise, like I'm definitely playing this.
Did you play it on Wii U?
A little bit.
Okay.
But it was the kind of thing where, like, by the time I got around to playing that on Wii U, my Wii U already had like a thick layer of dust on it, you know? And
That's
so
fair.
I definitely, you know, I feel like I missed the boat on it, and I've been kind of patiently waiting for this Switch version, and this is like the perfect opportunity to finally get into it. I'm day one on it. I can't wait. So, yeah.
All I know about this game is there's like a really funny song where the guy says, "I need a bigger gun."
Yeah.
Is this thing on?
Xenoblade always has like great stupid quotes like that. We like to make fun of that a lot. There's a quote that Noah says. This isn't what he says, but it sounds like he's saying ground beef. And so we like to imagine Noah as screaming ground beef as he fights people.
That's good.
Yeah. So they also announced today, like I think Best Buy announced like they have like a pre-order bonus, like they're giving away like a metal poster or something like that for it. So we're starting to rev up for, it's like less than 2 months out. I think it comes out March 20th. So we're getting there, man. It's gonna be no time at all, and we're gonna be playing Xenoblade, and then we're gonna get like just like a week later or something, we're gonna get the Switch 2 presentation. So yeah.
So I will say that we have here in the chat, we have the king of RPGs himself, Garrett.
That's right.
Garrett Bland says for prep to replay 1, 2, and 3.
There you easy.
Xenoblade Chronicles X, as far as I know, lore-wise is not connected, so you don't need to have played the other ones to jump in on X.
That's correct. I think that X is kind of its own little like offshoot thing. And even like, you know, the other games, like with the exception of like the DLC that very clearly ties into the other stuff, Future Redeem, Future Connected, the core games of 1, 2, and 3, I think you could very comfortably play without having played the other ones if you wanted to. I think they're all great, and so like they're all worth playing, but yeah, X I think is going to be a good jumping on point for people who maybe are more into the like mechs and like sci-fi that X has versus the fantasy, you know? So yeah.
It is a mech game.
Yeah.
And it's been a while since we had a mech game.
Yeah, that's true.
To come out and then not sell well and realize that people don't like mech games. But those of you that do, they don't forget about you because they keep coming back, even though they get like Daemon X Machina. Like
that game was cool. I liked it.
It's a great game. It's a great game, but like every mech game that comes out never sells that good. And I'm like, I don't know. I don't know, guys. I just don't know if this is gonna work ever, where it's gonna hit mainstream. But that's okay. Doesn't need to. Xenoblade Chronicles slapped the Xenoblade name onto it, so I think that'll help. That'll help.
Yeah, that'll give it a bump. Garrett says it's not a mech game until 50 hours later. So
That's true. Well, that's just that's the Xenoblade part right there. It doesn't actually start until 70 hours in when the tutorials are all done.
Yeah, now we can finally play the game.
And then people wonder why I don't want to play it.
Yeah,
I don't have that kind of time.
You bring up Daemon X Machina. There's a moment in No More Heroes 3, which was published by the same people who made Daemon X Machina, Marvelous. Okay. And I couldn't believe it when it happened. One of the things that happens, like, I guess, light spoilers, I guess, for No More Heroes 3. Who cares? That game came out like 3 or 4 years ago or something.
Yeah, no, spoil it. Get out of here. No More Heroes 3 backloggers. What are you doing?
Y'all aren't gonna play it anyway. You should. But there's a moment coming into the finale of the game where Travis Touchdown just summons a mech from Daemon X Machina, like literally from that game. Because why not? That just happens. That's a thing that happens.
Yeah, so. That's some No More Heroes type stuff going.
It rules.
That's
I was like,
No More Heroes.
I was
crap
like,
if I've ever seen.
Like, people still remember this? Like, Daemon X Machina is in No More Heroes 3? Let's go. There's also a moment that is very much like they essentially made a little Smash Brothers moment in the game.
Oh, yeah.
Which also rules.
That part rules. That part rules so much. That's like in the final boss fight, right?
Yeah, it's like leading up in the final kind of stages of the game. You basically just play Smash for a bit.
It's so good.
It's very good. Okay, well, we got one more question here from the Ryan Turford, who says, "Hi there, first time, long time. I'm currently playing Kirby Nightmare in Dreamland for the first time on Wii U Virtual Console. What is everyone's favorite Kirby game, and why is he Nintendo's real mascot?" Which I like this question on the week that Sean isn't here to dispute it. Sean, famous Kirby hater. So yeah. Why is Kirby the real
That's
mascot?
so un-Canadian to hate Kirby.
Yeah, he hates
What's
Kirby,
wrong
man.
with you? Like, come on, man. Like, he's like the embodiment of Canada. He's like a nice little guy.
He's just a nice little boy.
He's just a nice little guy.
He is Canada. Like,
he is Canada. Yeah, we should make him the Canadian mascot. That would be great.
Yeah.
Mostly just to tick off Sean. I think that would be great. But
Ryan learned this week that Kirby is great. I like Kirby quite a lot, and I think that Kirby does a lot. Here's what I'll say about Kirby, and I think that Kirby does a lot of things that I wished Mario would do. There is lore to Kirby games, for example.
True, and it's deep and it's crazy.
Like, deep, crazy Kirby lore is an actual thing. Yes, I understand that like the core games are typically pretty simplistic and easy, but then you get into like the end game stuff, and it's usually nice and challenging. I think the characters are great. I think the art's great. The music's great. Anytime that like Kirby gets like a fun like gimmick, I think it always works super well. There's not a Kirby game where I've thought, I don't like that gimmick. Like, I like them all. So, yeah.
I wholeheartedly agree. I think Kirby is a fantastic representation of Nintendo, and I think, besides being Masahiro Sakurai's creation, I think there's a reason he's so represented in Smash Bros. Because he just really embodies this like whimsical Nintendo-esque thing. What you call it? He's got the vibe. He passes the vibe check.
Totally.
So yeah, that's where I feel like Kirby is just great. Best Kirby game though. That's part of this question. What would you say is your favorite Kirby game?
For me, it's Forgotten Land. Like, genuinely, like I think Forgotten Land rules. Like, I had such a great time with that. It's everything that I like about Kirby. Kind of with that new 3D perspective, kind of like for me, it's like kind of the Mario 3D worldification of Kirby, and I just had such a blast with that game. And I go back and forth between that and Planet Robobot, which I also love. But it's definitely between those two. What about you?
I think I might have to say Kirby's Return to Dreamland.
For the Wii.
And the deluxe version is a really good.
It's so good on Switch.
Remake and port, because Kirby in the Forgotten Land is just like so different while keeping the core elements because it's a 3D platformer. But yeah, so I feel like that's kind of like peak 2D Kirby. Although I have heard really good things about Robobot and haven't gotten to give that one a try. I think that one's up for a port forward.
That's the rumor.
That would
be the rumor.
That would be a good one. And that's the other thing is Kirby releases games like all the time. There are so many Kirby games. Just on Switch, we have the Friendship one. Can't remember the name.
The Star Allies.
Allies. You've got Dreamland Deluxe, Forgotten Land. You've got Dream Buffet.
I was going to say, don't forget about Dream Buffet.
Was a fun little mini game. You have Kirby Clash 1 and 2, and
Kirby Fighters.
Yeah,
got that.
Yeah, Kirby Fighters 1 and 2, and then the Kirby Clash Deluxe, which was a 3DS game and then moved over to Switch, which I really like. That might be my like personal favorite, but I recognize that that's like very much a mobile game.
Totally.
That's
right.
And it's very mobile game coded. And I recognize, hey, I like it. That's what it's all about. So yeah, I don't know. I just really like I really like Kirby.
Me too.
I don't feel like I've like ever finished any Kirby game at the same time.
Oh really?
Yeah. It's like, I always get it. I'm like, this is so fun, and I'm enjoying playing it, but it like doesn't hold me the same way that like Mario does for some reason. I'm like, I have to finish this. Maybe it's just because it's like a little too easy.
Sure.
But I think that it's great for families. And I love that Kirby recently has just been like, it's had 2-player co-op since like forever. And you can always do some sort of like co-op gameplay, and that's really cool. And so it's a fun one to play with kids. I will say that my daughter absolutely loves Forgotten Land. And I have beat that game for her because she comes to me and she's like, I can't do this final boss. Now she can, but so I've beat the boss of that game while not having played most of the game. That end sequence is awesome. It's like a freaking anime. It's an anime. It's so good.
Over the top and crazy.
All Kirby game endings are this way because that's when you realize that Kirby doesn't fight cutesy little Waddle Dees and King Dedede. Kirby fights Cthulhu. Kirby
like
fights eldritch monsters. He kills gods. All right,
he does.
He is a demon slayer. This is Kirby for its cute aesthetic is like always has the craziest endings. Always, like entire planets are getting sliced in half. Kirby flying through space drives a car into a Godzilla-sized monster. It's like, what's going on?
Yeah, man. Yeah, and they genuinely like Planet Robobot has like a genuinely great story, like that is like kind of emotional by the end of it, and like has like a, I don't know, like a great like message and theme inside of it. There's way more to Kirby than meets the eye, and that's kind of what I love about it as somebody who loves like deep diving into lore and dumb junk like that. Like Kirby really kind of satisfies that for me. And I don't know. I love it. And I will say, for as much as Sean hates Kirby, he does like Forgotten Land. So there you go.
I mean, we haven't even talked about like the other characters in it are all really fun and cool. Bandana Waddle Dee for Smash. You and me, we were there. We were cheering for that the whole time. We're like, Bandana Waddle Dee needs to be added in. Garrett in the chat says most powerful character in Smash lore. 100%. 100%. In a battle between all of the Smash Bros characters, like canonically, he is the most powerful because he just can't die. He can basically become anything or a copy of anything.
Right.
And we learned he has the ability to, like possess things, and he's just too powerful. He's great.
Shouts to Kirby. And you know what? I love that we
Kirby.
Yeah, I love that we had a nice like long Kirby discussion and Sean was powerless to stop us. So there you go. I love it, man. Well, Ryan, enjoy yourself some Kirby games, and indeed all of y'all enjoy yourself some Kirby games. Before I shout out our patrons and wrap up the show, Andross, take a few minutes to tell people a little bit about you, my friend. Point them in your direction. Tell us about your streams, the Nintendo Pals. I want people to support you. I, of course, have links, full links in both the video description and the show notes and everything to check out everything Andross and Nintendo Pals. But tell us a little bit about yourself before we wrap up, man.
Well, thanks. First off, thanks for having me on. I love the Nintendo Drive. I've been listening since it was in a car.
It was in the car
many years ago. I love this show on all the people on it. They're all fantastic. My name is Andross. You can find me. That's actually a nickname, but for the lore.
Legally, you've changed it to Andross.
Legally, I've changed it. But you can find me on all platforms at Andross1. I stream on Twitch, YouTube, TikTok. I'm on Instagram. All the places you can find me just searching up Andross1. My content is primarily focused around video gaming challenges. So think speed running, but with unique twists, like speed running to cook every single meal in Tears of the Kingdom, or collect all the Koroks and put them into a ball and drop them down a mountain. My content does focus a lot in Zelda. I was a Breath of the Wild streamer, and I'm now a Tears of the Kingdom streamer. So yeah, but I dabble in all things Nintendo, and that's me, Andross1, on all those platforms. I also do a podcast with my good friend, my best friend, Micah, Nintendo Pals. We are the Nintendo Pals, and you can be a Nintendo Pal too by listening. So yeah, check that out on all podcast listening apps. We have fun making it.
I love it. It was cool. You and I, I've been doing podcasts since like 2007, but I started focusing in on Nintendo in 2020, and I started All In, and y'all started Nintendo Pals like literally within like a month of each other. And it was cool. I've always kind of considered us like peers and like sister, podcasts and stuff. And it's been cool to like stay in touch and, like kind of, I don't know, grow together and make stuff together. It's always fun, and y'all have a great time over there, both on Nintendo Pals, and your streams are so fun and unique. And I think people listening to this show would definitely get a kick out of watching it. So I encourage everybody to check out Nintendo Pals, Andross, on all of his channels. Always having a good time, always doing something a little left of center. Let me mow my grass on the stream. Let me, bake a cake or whatever on the stream.
On TikTok, I moonlight doing TikTok trends dressed as Tingle. So if you ever see Tingle pop up on your For You page, it's probably me.
I love it. I love it, man. Cool. Well, yeah, everybody show Andross your love and support. Let's end the show by thanking our patrons. Thank you so much to everybody who supports us at patreon.com/carpoolgaming, especially our ultimate producers like Jonathan Brown, whose music can be found at linktree/pme.jib. New album just dropped. Me, myself, and I bumped that. It rules. Cwaggy, who reminds that the best babes are Xenobabes. And TechMike, aka Technical Michael, who says, whether you're Kevesi or Agnian, you're a Xenobabe at heart. Thank you so much to our ultimate producers. Thank you to our platinum producers, Smokin Joe, Solo, the Captain, and Tim Paullin. And thank you to our gold members, Adam K, Anna, Awesome Dave 1337, Brad Moore, Brian Reese, Cecily Carrozza, Dan and Luma, Dannohh, Emily O'Kelly, Jan32, Ligerwoods 330, OldMrFrump, Patrice Mallette, Peje EP, Shane Erickson, Stephen Keller, TheDonRob, the Jiggy Collector, and Toxic. Y'all are the best. We appreciate you. Patreon.com/carpoolgaming. Get a 7-day free trial to the exclusive tier, and we appreciate your love and support very much. Follow Andross, follow Locklith, Amanda, and Sean as well. As for me, I'm $2 Hero on all of the things. Primarily Blue Sky is my main social platform over there. My Switch friend code, of course. I'd be remiss not to mention my Switch friend code. SW411280613454, of course. Just like Eric Lindros. We appreciate you all. We love you all. For Andross, for myself, this has been the Nintendo Drive. We'll talk to you soon. Good night, everybody.
Thanks so much for tuning in to this week's episode of the Nintendo Drive. Now, before you drive off, be sure to like and subscribe on YouTube and follow us at Carpool Gaming on socials. Don't forget to check out our awesome Nintendo Drive merch on carpoolgaming.com. And you can also support the show on Patreon at patreon.com/carpoolgaming, where you'll unlock all sorts of exclusive content like the Nintendo Drive Post Show. Links to everything are in the description. See you next week!
D